a city street. Then black. Kamchatka, Myanmar, Tonga, 3 different oceans, 3 different fault lines, thousands of kilometers apart. And yet, within the span of a single year, each one broke. One of them, off the coast of Russia, ruptured with a magnitude near 8.8 among the strongest earthquakes ever recorded by modern instruments. Another, in Myanmar, tore through the earth with enough force to bring down buildings hundreds of kilometers from where it started. Different continents, different depths, different histories. So why does it feel like the planet is shaking all at once? Is the Earth becoming more violent? Or are we simply the first generation watching in real time, everywhere, all at once? Here is the problem. Our brains are built to find connections, even when there aren't any. Show us 3 unrelated events close enough in time, and we will build a story to link them. That instinct kept our ancestors alive. Out here, on a planet this size, it might be leading us somewhere else entirely. To understand what's really happening, you have to understand what the ground beneath you actually is. Not solid, not still. The Earth's outer shell is broken into pieces, tectonic plates, drifting over a slow, churning layer of rock beneath them. They don't glide smoothly, they catch, they lock. They strain against each other for decades, sometimes centuries, storing energy like a held breath. And when that breath finally releases, that's an earthquake. Now here's where it gets interesting. Can one earthquake trigger another? Sometimes yes, but almost always locally. When a fault ruptures, it sends out seismic waves, and it subtly redistributes stress onto the rock around it. Nearby faults can feel that shift. Smaller quakes can follow aftershocks, sequences, sometimes entire swarms that ripple through a region for days or weeks. Picture a row of dominoes standing close together. Tip 1, and its neighbor might fall too. But space them a continent apart, and knocking one over does nothing to the rest. This is the honest science. Earthquake interaction is real, but it is overwhelmingly a local story. A fault in Japan does not reach across the Pacific and pull a trigger in Chile. So if the connection isn't physical, what are we actually seeing? Here's the part that changes the entire investigation. Large earthquakes have always been happening. Every year, every day. Somewhere on Earth, the ground is moving right now as you watch this. What's changed isn't the planet, it's us. Global seismic networks have expanded dramatically over the past few decades. There are more sensors in more places, catching smaller tremors that would once have gone completely unnoticed. And now, every one of them reaches you within minutes. A quake on the other side of the planet isn't a paragraph in tomorrow's newspaper anymore. It's a notification on your phone, sitting right next to news from your own city. Distance used to create distance. Now it doesn't. So when 3 or 4 significant earthquakes happen within the same stretch of days, it isn't because the Earth suddenly synchronized itself. It's because for the first time in human history, we're watching the whole planet at once. The pattern feels new. The planet isn't. We are. But before you feel too settled by that answer, there's a deeper question waiting underneath it, one that scientists still can't fully close. If we understand tectonic plates this well, if we can map every major fault line on the planet, why can't we tell you exactly when the next big one will hit? This is where earthquake science hits its hardest limit. Geologists can identify which faults are dangerous. They can study the history of a region and calculate the odds, a rough probability that a major earthquake will strike a certain area within a certain number of years. That's forecasting. It's real, and it saves lives through building codes and early warning systems. But prediction, naming the exact day, the exact location, the exact magnitude, before it happens, remains, by every honest scientific account, beyond our current reach. The stress inside a fault builds in ways too complex, too hidden, too many kilometers underground for us to read with certainty. We can say a fault is loaded. We cannot say when it will fire. And that gap between what we can calculate and what we can actually know might be the most unsettling fact in this entire story. So maybe the Earth isn't suddenly waking up. Maybe it never went to sleep. The ground beneath every city, every coastline, every home you've ever lived in has been shifting quietly this entire time. Centimeters a year, unfelt, unheard, building towards something we can measure but not foresee. We didn't create the earthquakes. We just finally built the eyes to watch them all. And that leaves us with a strange kind of vertigo. Not because the planet is more dangerous than it was yesterday, but because we can now see how much of it we still can't predict. So the next time the ground trembles somewhere far from you, ask yourself this. If the Earth has been moving beneath us the entire time, what makes us so sure we'd feel it coming, the one time it finally matters?